I'm going to share my screen. Okay, we're going to start just a quick review of the phrases that we've learned in the past. So we'll start with Clay. How do we say fine praise to God?
Bikhair alhamdulillah.
Very good. Elise, good morning.
Sabah al-khair.
Good. Clay, please.
Shukran.
That's thank you. How do we say please?
Oh. I don't remember.
Elise?
Min fadlika.
Good. Min fadlika to a male, min fadliki to a
Min
female.
fadlik. Yeah.
Okay, good.
Gotcha.
Okay, Clay, until our next meeting.
Ila alaka.
Ila alaka. Very good, Elise.
Dude, I just looked at that one too.
Oh, I'm sorry. I'll give you a chance to answer.
Okay, Clay, where do you live?
Don't give me a chance to answer in this one.
Let's see. Aina teskuna and
Aina teskun or aina teskunina.
Aina teskunina.
Actually, aina teskunu if you want to be absolutely grammatically correct. Aina teskunu and aina teskunina, but aina teskun is fine as well.
What was the grammatically correct one?
Aina teskunu with a wow. With actually it's a dhamma, which is a short vowel at the end. We haven't gotten into the grammar yet, and probably in this class we won't. We'll get it next semester. So aina teskunu, aina teskunina. Okay, Clay, good afternoon or good evening?
I know this one. Is it Masa al Khair?
Good, Masa al Khair. Masa al Khair, very good. Elise, hello.
Marhaban.
Clay, you're welcome.
That is different from welcome, right?
Correct.
Okay.
This is
Starts
the
with an
reply
A.
that you'd say to Shukran.
Is it Afwan?
Yes.
Afwan?
F1, very good, F1.
Okay.
Okay, Elise, where are you from?
Is it? I'm trying to think of the verb that you use with that.
Actually, there's no verb here.
Min aina or
Min aina anta?
Min aina anta.
Good. Min aina enta or min aina enti. You'll notice that there's no verb for are is. In the present tense in Arabic, you don't need one. So it's a little bit different. So min aina enta for a male, min aina enti for a female. Okay, Clay, peace be upon you.
What is inshallah?
That's God willing.
God willing. Okay.
It starts with an S.
It starts with a what?
Starts with an S.
Is it assalamu alaikum?
Very good. Assalamu alaikum.
Starts with an A.
Okay, Elise, do you speak English?
Anta, let's see. Anta tatakalem aloha inglesi.
Close, pretty good. Hal tatikallam al-lugha al-ingliziyya. Hal tatikallam al-lugha al-ingliziyya. To a male, to a female, hal tatikallamina al-lugha al-ingliziyya. Okay. Very good. Clay, how old are you?
19. Oh. I mean, I always get this one confused with Minena Anta, so I don't I don't know.
Okay, Elise?
Do you want to go through the flashcards and like review them with me and then see like if he can, it'll jog his memory for the next time?
We
Um,
could, because, I mean,
well, let's go through them first this way, and then we'll see where we go from there. Okay, so Elise, how do we say, how old are you?
Kam Amruka.
Very good, or Kem Omruki, depending on if you're talking to a male or female. Okay, Clayton, what's your name?
Maismuka?
Good,
Or Maismuki to you?
very good, excellent. Okay, Elise, I speak Arabic.
Anna Bakalam.
Atikalam,
Atakalam. Anna Atakalam Arabi.
or al-lugha al-arabiyya.
Mm.
Okay, Clay, I don't understand.
Uh,
How do we say I?
oh, geez.
Okay,
How
it starts
do
with
we say
Anna. Anna.
Anna?
Don't
then-
understand.
So in Arabic, whenever they do like a negative for a verb, do they use the word no?
Not always. It depends on the kind of verb it is. In this case,
Okay.
you use no.
Okay. So it would be analah.
And then understand,
Mm,
Elise, understand,
Afham.
Efham, Anala Efham. And it's the
Analah
same
Efham.
for males or females, Anala Efham. I don't understand. Okay,
What is like the reasoning behind like when do they use la to represent a negative for something?
it's beyond the scope of this class, so I'm not, it's complicated. So for right now, just learn it in the context of the phrase. We'll get the grammar next semester.
Okay.
But it's complicated because for each different type of verb, if it's, for instance, present tense, past tense, or subjunctive or whatever, it's going to have a different negation. Arabic grammar tends to be quite complex.
So this semester should be just on a basis of like memorization for specific phrases?
Well, that's where we're going to start. You'll get a little bit of grammar, but you're not going to get there yet. Actually, the entire grammar series in Arabic, in graduate school, it took me 8 semesters. And even then I wasn't finished. So
Wow.
it's really complex. So
Yeah, wow.
yeah.
But you learn grammar implicitly as you hear like the dialogues and the conversations. Like without any direct explanation, you start to like just be able to wrap your mind around what's going on. You know.
Right. But there are some things that really require like an added explanation.
Yeah.
Because it's not as intuitive
Okay.
as, like, for instance, English is. Even English has.
Not at all.
Yeah. So, yeah. Okay. Okay. So, Elise, how do we say thank you? Oh,
Shukran.
shukran. Very good. Okay. Clay, how do we say my name is?
No, this one. It's me.
Good. Okay. Elise, I am from America.
I'm in America.
Very good. Ana min America or Ana min Amrika? In actually modern standard Arabic, they use Amrika. Okay, Clay, goodbye.
Ooh. Masalama, maybe?
Salama, very good. Okay, Elise, hello, hello.
Mahabtain.
Very good. Clay, good night.
This one is different from good afternoon.
Similar but different.
Ooh, I don't know. Good night. It's not ner for the word, right? No, that's the response for good evening.
Okay,
I
Elise,
don't know.
how do we
Good
say
night.
good night?
Well, I was thinking, is it like Misa? Something with
Masa al khair is good evening or good afternoon. But good night, tisba al khair. Tisba al khair.
okay, that's what I'm looking at here. I just
Or to a female, tisbahina al khair. Tisbahina al khair. Okay? Tisba al khair or tisbahina al khair. Okay, Clay, and upon you peace.
That's the one where you like reverse peace be upon you, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right.
So if I say assalamu alaikum to you, you're going to reply by saying
Wa alaikum assalam.
wa alaikum assalam. Very good. Okay, Elise, I'm pleased to meet you.
Tasharafna.
Very good. Tasharafna. Okay, Clay? Yes. Say it again.
Can you hear me?
I couldn't. Cut out. Say it again.
Oh,
Naam.
Naam.
Naam. Very good. Okay, Elise?
Yeah.
God willing.
Inshallah.
Inshallah. Very good. Welcome. Clay?
Ahlan wa sahlan.
Good. Ahlan wa sahlan. Ahlan wa sahlan. Elise? No.
Can you hear me fine?
Uh-huh.
Okay.
Elise, how do we say no?
La.
La. Very good.
La.
And Clay, how are you?
Is that different than asking like how things
Like asking what?
are going? Like it's the same thing? Okay. Is it Kaif al-Hal or Kaifa Haluka?
Either one. Kayfa hal just means like
Okay.
how are things in general. Kayfa haluka means how are
Okay,
you.
I thought.
Okay, so it's kayfa haluka to a male, kayfa haluki when you're talking to a female. Okay, Elise, welcome to you. So the reply for ahlan wa sahlan.
Oh. Ahlan bika.
Good.
Or ahlan biki.
Very good. Ahlan bika or ahlan biki. Very good. Okay, let's do a quick review of our dialogues. Elise, you're going to be student A, and Clay, you're going to be student B. Conversation 1. Elise, you start.
So I'm student A?
You're student A.
Okay. Ahlan wa sahlan.
Ahlan biki.
Kaifa haluka?
Bikhair. Alhamdulillah. Wa anti?
Ana bikhair. Shukran.
Ma ismuka.
Maka.
El alika. Ila alika.
Oops. Let's try that again. I think we cut in and out. So Elise, you start.
Ahlan wa sahlan.
Ahlan biki.
Kaifa haluka?
Bikhair. Alhamdulillah. Wa anti?
Ana bikhair. Shukran. Ma ismuka?
Okay.
I don't know if you were yawning or cutting out.
Am I at my name now? I was yawning.
That's what I thought.
Am I at my name now?
Yeah. It's me, what?
Yeah, okay.
Yes, you're at your name.
It's me, Clayton. Wama ismuki enti.
Esmi Elise Tasharafna.
Tasharafna biki. Ila
Ila Laka.
Salama.
Good. This time
She's
we're going to
frozen.
switch.
There you are.
Okay, so
Okay.
Clayton, you're going to be student A, and Elise, you'll be student B. So
Okay.
Clayton, you start.
Okay. Ahlan wa
Some coffee
sahlan.
this morning.
I know.
Ahlan Bika.
Kaifa haluki.
Bikhair. Alhamdulillah. Wa anta?
Ana bikhair. Shukran. Ismuki.
Esmi Elise. Wa ma ismuka anta?
Ismi Clayton. Tasharafna.
Tasharafna Bika. Ila alaka.
Ma salama.
Very good. Okay, we're going to go on to the next dialogue. And Elise, you're going to start. You'll be student
Buena.
A, and Clayton, you'll be student B.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Kifa haluka?
Mumtaz. Alhamdulillah. Wa kaifa haluki enti?
Kwais. Alhamdulillah.
Ma ismuki.
Kwayasa, alhamdulillah.
Esmi Elise. Kwesa. What is the A in parentheses for?
That's for a female. So when you're saying it about yourself, in this case, you're answering about yourself. So you're talking as a female.
Okay.
So it's kwayasa.
Okay.
Alhamdulillah.
I see.
Let's pick
That
it up
makes
there.
sense. Kwesa. Alhamdulillah.
Okay, Clayton.
Quick question.
Uh-huh.
Quick question. What does Mumtaz and Qais mean?
Okay, Mumtaz means excellent. Kwais means good. It's another way of saying bikhair.
Okay. Sure.
So start here.
Ma ismuki.
Esmi Elise. Wa ma ismuka? Enta?
Ismi
Oh,
Clayton.
that was off intonation.
Tasharafna.
Tasharafna Bika. Ila alaka.
Ma salama.
Okay, good. Okay. This time let's switch roles. This time, Clayton, you're going to be student A, and Elise, you'll be student B.
Assalamu alaikum.
Wa alaikum assalam.
Kaifa haluki.
Mumtaza. Alhamdulillah. Wa kaifa haluka? Wa kaifa haluka anta?
Qais. Alhamdulillah.
Ma ismuka?
Ismi Clayton. Wa ma ismuki enti?
Esmi Elise. Tasharafna.
Tasharafna bika. Ila alaka.
Biki, because you're talking there, you're talking to Elise. So Tasharafna Biki. Okay. And then
Oh, I thought I was talking about myself with Bika.
yeah, here you're not. Bika means to you. And so the you that you know
Oh.
is female. I know it's kind of confusing. Again, it's one of those grammar points. We'll get a little bit of that later on in the semester. Okay. Okay, any other
Oh, no.
questions?
I don't know for some reason, but that is definitely not bikhair.
Yeah.
But anyways. Tasharafna biki. Ila alaka.
Ma salama.
Very good. Okay, good. Okay, we're going to go on to the alphabet.
I think I had plenty of practice with the alphabet, but
Well,
that doesn't
good.
mean anything. No,
So you said it was hard
what
to
I meant
read?
through the comment was that no. So in our 100-point quiz, and then
Uh-huh.
our 28-point quiz,
Mhm.
and then in the book, there were different pronunciations for like 4 certain letters, but like they were the same pronunciation for a different letter depending on the
Yeah,
quiz.
unfortunately, depending on who's saying it, sometimes the pronunciation can be different, particularly amongst Egyptians. Egyptians tend to z everything. But in
Okay, because there's
in the quizzes, those were actually looking at the letters. So it really wasn't there to have you speak the letters. Okay, so what I wanted you to do in the quizzes and the test is to look at the letter and be able to identify it. Okay.
okay. And then on the second quiz website,
Mhm.
I think I put ein for both ein and achain because I could not see like the little dot that's above it
Okay.
because I didn't zoom in far enough.
Okay. Yeah, you know, you can always
So
go
I
up
didn't
to
register the pixels.
like to the what is the right hand side of your screen and pull down a menu, and it will allow
Yeah.
you to zoom in. So I don't use a lot of Kia anymore. In the
Yeah.
past, all of my quizzes were on Kia, but they've really upgraded Canvas, so it's just as easy to do them on Canvas these days. So almost everything that you'll deal with will be on Canvas, but
Okay, that's good.
yeah. And it
I
just
like
takes lots
actually
of
almost had a
practice.
stroke because I
Takes
kept
lots of
missing one.
Okay, so I'm going to pull up a chart here, and then we're going to start with Elise as soon as it pulls up. And Elise is going to tell me what the letters are.
Sounds good.
Inshallah, because it doesn't seem to be pulling up right now, so let's give it a minute. Wow, it's really slow. Okay, I'm going to back out and try that again. It doesn't seem to want to load.
I made a grammar quiz today for my students on Kahoot, and it took me 10 minutes
Oh, it happens.
to get the Kahoot up.
I'm gonna do that in Korea.
Oh, it'll be fun.
Yeah.
It's been a great
Christine
experience.
taught in Korea. She loved it.
Yeah. I'm hearing good things, and then I have a friend that's from Korea that told me to go there instead of Thailand, so I'm gonna listen.
Yeah, I would agree. I think that the quality of people and life in Korea is going to be better.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
would probably agree with that too.
Did you have to get a graduate's degree and then take your TESOL, or what did you do for that?
I'll tell you later. Let's do
Yeah,
this
that's fine.
alphabet.
Thanks.
But you can find lots of information online.
Okay. So we're going to start with Elise. Just read the letters for me. Okay, we'll start here.
Aleph, ba. Oh, I'm sorry. Where are you starting?
Go ahead. Just read through all the way through the
Is it-
alphabet.
Okay, there's like 2 mice on my screen, and one of them's on ha. Oh, that's my mouse. Okay. All right.
Got an infestation.
Aleph. We're gonna have to call the exterminator. Too many mice. Aleph, ba, ta, da, jim, ha, cha, dal, ra,
Mhm.
zay, sin, shin, sa, dad,
Ta,
tau,
ta,
ta, da,
the,
ta, da,
la.
ein, gain, fa, qaf,
Qaf,
kaf, lam, mim, noon, ha, wa, Yay
Yeah, good.
or yeah.
Again, the names of the letters aren't as important as the sound that the letter makes. And we haven't actually done that yet. So far, we've just learned the names of the letters. And even those can change a little bit depending on where you are in the Arab world. Okay, Clayton, you start with Aleph. Keep going and go all the way through.
All right. Aleph, ba, ta, da, jim. Is it, so for this ha, is it like a harsher
This is a harsher
ha
one with a lot of.
than the other one?
It's not. It's
Okay,
not
so a
guttural.
ha,
Ha, ha, with a lot of air coming out. Ha.
ha,
Mm-hmm.
cha,
Mm-hmm.
dal, thou, ra,
Ra.
za, seen,
Mm-hmm.
sheen, sad,
Sod.
dad,
Sod.
sod.
So this one is the heavy sound for seen. So s is like closer to the front of the mouth. Saw is deeper, a deeper sound. Saw.
Okay. Sod, dod, thou,
This one is
taw.
taw. Taw. And this is
Okay.
the heavy sound for ta. Ta. Ta is close to the front of the mouth. It's closer to the English T. It is the English T. Okay. Ta. Ta.
Okay.
Oh, and this one is taw. Taw. It's much stronger.
Taw.
Taw.
So is the next one zaw?
Zaw. Zaw.
Zaw.
Yeah. This is the one that you always hear Egyptians say zaw. It's not correct. It's correct in Egyptian Arabic, but it's not correct in modern standard Arabic. In modern standard Arabic, it's pronounced zaw. Zaw.
So they say Abu Dhabi or Abu Dhabi.
Yeah, yeah. And they have that sound for a lot of their letters. It's one reason why I'm not fond of the Egyptian dialect. I think it removes the beauty of the Arabic sounds, but it's very common. It's a dialect that you hear a lot because there are so many Egyptians and so many of the movies and singers and what have you, all of the entertainment, a lot of it still comes out of Egypt. So you get that dialect a lot, but it takes away some of the, I think, the beauty of the letters because you don't have those beautiful sounds. Like if you listen to music from the Gulf, from this area in Saudi Arabia and the UAE and Qatar and those areas, you hear all of those like really pretty sounds that you get. Anyway, okay, keep going.
All right. Ein, Chain, Fa, Kaf, Kaf, Lam, Mim, Nun, Ha, Wow, and then Ya.
Very good, excellent. Okay.
Oh, I've seen that Ha written differently. What's the reasoning behind doing a little circle instead of the
Okay.
squiggly shit?
We'll actually get to that today because that has to do with it's the way it's
Placement in a word?
Thank you. The placement of the word. If it's at the beginning of the word, it has that extra little loop in it. For some reason, there are books that show the ha with that little loop in it, just in the isolated positions. But that is not correct. Ha with the double loop is the way it looks at the beginning of a word. Okay, so here we've seen all of the letters in their isolated positions. Now remember, a couple of lessons back, we said that all of the letters can have up to 4 different shapes depending on where they're found in the word. So it's going to be different if it's at the beginning of a word, if it's at the middle of the word, if it's at the end of the word, or if it's in isolation. So these are all the letters that we've learned in isolation. Now, remember that 6 of the letters will only actually have 2 shapes because they're one-way connectors. Clay, what are the 6 one-way connectors? Can you tell me?
I think I can.
Okay.
I think those are alif, dal, ra, tha,
Zay,
and wow.
Zay, and
Zay
wow. Very good.
and
Zay and
wow.
wow. Okay, good. So those letters will just actually have 2 shapes, but the others will have 4 shapes depending on where they're found in the word. Okay.
Except for ein, because ein has like 6, I think.
Actually, it only has 4, but there are a couple of letters that have some additional ones because they're just written differently.
Yeah, don't they
Cat
use
is one
like
of
numbers for ein?
What?
I've seen a number used to represent ein
Oh,
before,
yeah,
like either a
that's
3
in,
or a 2.
that's when you're like talking in like chat rooms and stuff. We're not going to get to that today.
Okay.
Okay. So we also talked about in the past a couple of additional letters. Okay. So we'll just quickly review those. Our first one is this one. And Elise, can you tell me what the name of it is?
Ta marbuta.
Ta marbuta. Very good. Ta marbuta. It's actually the letter ta. Okay. But it's pronounced as kind of like a ha sound, unless it's voweled. And again, that gets into the grammar, so we're not going to worry about that today. But this is actually the letter T, ta. Okay. And Clay, can you tell me where we use this and why we might use this?
No, I cannot.
Okay, Elise, can you tell Clayton how we use it and why we use it?
It's used on the end of sentences, and
On the end
it
of
usually.
a word. On the end of a word.
Yeah, I'm sorry.
That's okay.
And it usually represents a feminine word.
Exactly.
Okay.
Okay, did you get that? So it's used at the end of a word, and typically it shows you that the word is of the feminine gender, because all words in Arabic are either masculine or feminine. There's no it.
Okay.
Okay. Okay, what about this one? Clayton, can you tell me what it is?
It looks familiar.
What's it look like?
However, it's slipping my name. I know it looks like but I know it definitely is.
Correct. Okay. It looks like a ya, but a ya would have 2 points underneath. Okay. Elise,
Is it an alif?
go ahead.
He started to say
I think it was on rec. I think it's like an alif, like, but with a word in front of it.
It's called Aleph Maksura. Aleph Maksura. It means a broken
Aleph Maksura. Okay.
And where do we find it in a word? Where will we find it?
I don't know. I'm gonna guess the beginning of a word.
Actually, it's going to be found at the end of a word. Okay, and it's only at the end of some words. You can't use this letter in place of an aleph just because you like the way it looks. Okay, so it has to do with the way the word is spelled. Okay, and it's only used in certain words. Okay, but it's aleph maksura, or a broken aleph. So it's actually an aleph. Okay, and Elise, what letter is this?
Hamza.
Hamza. Good, Hamza. And where do we find Hamza?
At the end of a word.
We can also find it anywhere in between, from the beginning all the way to the end. So it's sometimes written by itself, like this, but it can also be written, they call it Hamza al-Kursi. It's on a seat, or it can be written on long vowels. So you can have it written on an aleph, you could have it written on a wow, you could have it written on a ya. So you'll find aleph, you'll find Hamza written in lots of different ways. Okay.
Oh yes, I've seen that.
And one of the book assignments, the Aleph, you practice writing it with the
Mhm.
Hamza above it.
When you write the Hamza
Or
above
I
it
did anyways. I don't know if you did.
versus the Hamza below it, it's going to change the sound that it makes. When you use Hamza on an Aleph, it actually is like writing an Aleph with a short vowel, starting a word with a short vowel. You can't technically do that in Arabic just by writing the short vowels, which we haven't done yet, so it doesn't make a whole lot of sense to you, but they're little vowel markings, okay? And so you can't technically write a short vowel to start a word, but you can do it if you use it on, like, take the regular Aleph and then use Hamza. So that's like starting a letter with a short vowel, okay? And the Hamza can be above the Aleph or below the Aleph. So it's going to change the sound that it makes, just for future reference. Okay. Waiting for it to download again.
What time is it where you guys are at 6 in the evening?
No, it
Like
is 5 o'clock,
5.
5:09.
5. Okay.
Okay, Clay, I want you to read the letters for me. Start here.
Aleph, Ba, Ta, Tha, Jim, Ha, Ka, Dal, Thou, Ra, Zay,
Mhm.
Sheen, Sheen, Sod, Dod, Tha,
Ta,
and then,
ta,
or Ta, and then
Ta.
Tha,
va.
and then Ein, Chain, Fa, Kof, Kaf, Lam, Meme, Noon, Ha. Oh wait, that's not Ha. That's
Good.
Wow. I was just going in order, but
I know.
Ha, and then that's the Hamza,
Good.
and then Ya.
Very good. Excellent. Okay, good. So you picked out that those were reversed. Very good. Okay, Elise. I'm gonna mix them around.
Okay. Ha, Ba, Ha, Tau, Lam,
Lamb.
Jim, Sin, Dal, or
Mhm.
Ein,
Ein.
Ra,
Mhm.
Zay, Gain,
Mhm.
Sheen, Ya, Dod, Wa, Ta, Noon, Meme, Kaf, Kof, Da, Da,
Uh-huh. Dal.
Da,
Dal.
Dal, Aleph, Da,
Va. Good.
Sod, Fa, Ha.
This one. What's this one? I didn't hear it.
Hamza,
Hamza. Ha. Very good. Okay. Clayton, try it.
Jim, Ba, Ha,
Not Jean.
Tau.
Not Jean. Not Jean.
No, no,
You've
no.
got 1 point up,
No,
not
that
in the
is
vowel.
the ka,
Ka.
the one below it, Jim. Okay. And then ba, ha, ta, lam, jim, sin, dal, ein, ra, zay, chain, shin, ya, dod, wow, ta, or is it tau?
Ta. Ta.
Ta.
Ta.
Ta, nun, meme, calf, cough, the, ed, alif,
What
da,
was this one? I didn't hear it.
dal, or dal,
Thal. Thal.
dal,
Uh-huh. Keep going.
and then alif, and I don't, what, tha maybe for the left or the one on the second? No, I did that one already.
Oh, I didn't hear it. Say it again. Say this one.
Oh, fa, and then I said sad, and then now fa,
Sawed. Sawed, and then?
sawed, fa,
Mhm.
hamza,
Uh-huh.
and then ha.
Ha.
Sorry,
Ha.
your mouse is like a little bit behind what I'm saying.
Okay. Okay. Ha. Okay, good. Okay, now we're going to look at the letters in their various forms. Okay, so as I mentioned, we learned the letters in their isolated positions. Now you're going to learn how they change. I did put up some worksheets and I asked you to print them off. I don't know if you saw that yet. Did you see that?
Oh, not yet. The day that I normally look at this course hasn't come up yet.
Okay.
Still trying to get caught up with work.
Okay. Yeah, it should be on there. Let me just make sure it is, but I believe it is. And what you'll want to do for either tomorrow's class or probably Wednesday's class is to print out those worksheets to practice writing them. But for right now, we'll just go over the way they change. Okay, so if you look on these sheets, you have the letter first in its isolated form, okay, in the column that's on your right-hand side. And then we have how it looks when it starts a word, okay, so this is the beginning position. Then your next column, your third column, is how that letter morphs again if it's in the middle of a word. So if it's preceded by something and it's followed by something. So it is, it's in the middle of a word. And then your final column on your left-hand side is the way that same letter looks if it is at the end of a word, okay? So you have isolated position in your first column, beginning, middle, and final, okay? So you'll notice that there are letters that in general look a lot alike, okay? So for example, we have ba, ta, and tha. The letters look exactly alike except for the placement and number of dots. So ba has 1 point, ta has 2 points, tha has 3 points in a triangular pattern. Now, it's just an interesting side note that when Arabic first became a language, it was written without dots. It had the same shapes, but it had no dots, which made it really difficult for non-native speakers of Arabic to be able to speak the language. And for that reason, because of the spreading of the religion of Islam into regions that weren't Arabic speaking, they needed to make it easier for non-native speakers of Arabic to be able to read the Quran. And what they did at that point was to add the dot system and to add also the voweling system, the short vowels. Okay, so prior to all of that, prior to the onset of Islam, Arabic was written without dots. So you'd have the same shape, like this little cup, but without dots. So you wouldn't know if it was a ba, a ta, or a tha. You just would have to know.
That is a lot of using contextual cues to understand a language. Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it was really quite complicated. Okay. Now, in general, most people did not read. Okay, at that point in time, most people did not read because the writing of books and things came later, particularly amongst the Bedouins, because when you have a Bedouin culture, you have people going from place to place. They couldn't take books along with them, okay? So that wasn't really part of the culture. The verbal part was the part of the culture. That was always a big part, even in pre-Islamic times, especially in pre-Islamic times. The poets in the tribes were really looked upon as like the people that had the most status, okay? So it was an oral language, okay? But then it began to be written. And when it was written, as I said, it started without dots. The dots came later. Okay, so you'll notice that there are certain shapes of letters that are shared. And the only thing different is the dots or lack of dots or number of dots, okay? So first of all, and we'll just go through it today because there's not really a lot of time for you to write them down today. But I do want you, let me find out where I put it so you can do it for next class. Let's see, so it's in week 4. And there are actually 2 sets of worksheets. They're under Arabic letters and how they change content page. So if you look in week 4 and you find Arabic letters and how they change content page. And then right below that, there are 2 sets of handouts that I'd like you to print out for the next classes, okay? So that you can practice writing them, okay? So you'll see ba, ta, and tha. All of these 3 letters all change in the same way. So you have the ba and ta and tha at the beginning of a word. At the beginning of a word, you still have that 1 point down or 2 points up or 3 points up. Okay, so the number of dots stays the same, but you'll notice how small the letter gets. It sits right on the line, and you just get this little tiny curve here with a point down. Everyone see that? So all 3 of these letters look the same, except for the number and placement of dots. In the middle of a word, can you all still hear me?
Yep.
Okay.
I can hear you.
Sometimes when I'm talking and nobody else is talking, I get worried that they were shut out somehow. Okay, so here in the middle of a word, you get this little uptick, just like this. It connects to what precedes it, and it connects to what follows it. And again, you just get that change in number of dots. And then when you get to the last column, it connects to what precedes it. So you get a little scoop here where it's connecting to what precedes it. And then you get that full shape back again. See that? So the end letter and the isolated letter look pretty much alike, except the one that's at the end of a word connects to what precedes it. So all three of these letters will change in the same way, okay? And like I said, when you print out those worksheets, we'll do that either tomorrow or Wednesday in class. Okay, the next three letters also have the same shape. And you can imagine in olden days, again, the difference between jim, ha, and kha, they would all have looked the same in pre-Islamic times before they changed it so that foreigners were able to read the letters and adding those dots. Again, you have jim, ha, and kha in their isolated positions in the right-hand column. But look how they change at the beginning of a word. It looks totally different. The only part of the letter that remains is just this part right up here. Okay, and again, you keep the same number of dots for each letter. So jim has one dot down, ha has no dots, and kha has one dot up. In the next column, you have it in the middle of a word. So it's going to connect to what precedes it, and it goes on to connect to what follows it. And it looks like this. And then finally, at the end of a word, it's going to connect to what precedes it. But again, you get that whole shape back, just like in the isolated position. Okay, you see that? See how it changes? And you'll want to make sure and print off those worksheets so that we can practice drawing these as well. Okay. It's not such a big deal these days because most people type everything, but I think it's important to be able to write things as well. So we're going to do writing too. Okay. It works out such that they've programmed Arabic keyboards now, so that when you are writing a word, it actually physically changes, it changes the letter into the proper shape, okay? But I want you to know how to write it as well. Okay, next we have dal, thal, ra, and zay. You'll notice that dal and thal are exactly the same letter again, okay? Except that you've got 1 point over the thal. But dal and thal look exactly alike. It's a small letter that sits on the line, but it only goes about 1/4 of the way up. Remember that dal and thal are both one-way connectors. So because they're one-way connectors, they really only have two shapes. So you have dal in its isolated position, and you have dal when it's connected to something that precedes it. Okay, so both of these are if something precedes it. But if you have something that follows a dal or a thal, then you have to leave a space, which means that you will have words, an entire word, but you can have a space in the middle of that word, or near the beginning of that word, or near the end of that word. You can have a space. So just because you see a space in Arabic, it doesn't necessarily mean that it's the end of a word, okay? So that's important to remember. Our next two are ra and zay, and it's the same deal with ra and zay, okay? It's the same shape. It starts above the line, about 1/4 of the way above the line, and goes below the line. But zay has a point over it, and ra does not. And again, you only have two shapes because ra and zay are, again, one-way connectors. Okay, so you have ra in its isolated position and ra when it's connected to something that precedes it. Same thing with za, when it's connected to something that precedes it. But anything following ra or zay will require a space. Okay, our next letters, again, are a similar shape. We have seen and sheen, seen and sheen. Exactly the same letter, but sheen has 3 points above the beginning point of the letter. Okay, so we've seen seen and sheen in its isolated form. If you're starting a word with seen or sheen, you're going to lose that big tail at the end. Okay, so you only have this beginning part of the letter, and it starts about a quarter of the way up the line. You do a scoop and then another scoop, and then it continues on to whatever follows it. Okay, so seen and sheen at the beginning of a word looks like this. In the middle of a word, it's going to connect to what precedes it. Again, you lose that big tail. It's not there. You just have the scoop up, another up, and another up, and then it goes on to connect to what follows it. With sheen, you just put those dots over it. You'll often also see just a little tent, okay, in handwriting. Instead of actually writing 3 dots, you'll see just a little triangle without the bottom, so a little tent over it. And that's sheen as well. Okay, if you're going to the end of the word, the seen and sheen will connect to what precedes it, and it will get that big tail back again. Okay, so it looks almost like the isolated letter. In all of these cases, the isolated letter and the final letter look pretty much the same. Okay, but the final letter connects to what precedes it. Okay, and I guess we'll stop there because we're running out of time. Any questions about anything that we've done today so far? Any questions? Questions?
That looks good.
Okay. Okay, so for
I have an unrelated question,
okay.
but I can wait until the class is over to ask you.
Okay.
Just like if the Google Translate writing the right word on a word that I want to ask my students.
Okay. Okay. Well, I'm going to have to close the class so that the video will upload. So then I can come back in, okay? And you can come back in and start a different meeting. So this meeting will just go with the class. Okay. Any other questions about the class? Okay, so remember to print off those worksheets for tomorrow or for Wednesday, depending on when you're here. Okay?
Sounds good.
Okay. I'm going to end the class and end the meeting so we can stop the recording.